Hello, hello, YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Dion Napier with Amplify Vocal Studio, and welcome on Instagram. It's Dr. Dion Napier. I am glad to see you all today. It's been a little while since I've gone live, but there have been things popping off in the music industry, and I want to chime in and I want to talk about it. Specifically, I want to talk about this article from Classical FM that is analyzing Billie Eilish's voice. So you guys, welcome. Come on in. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. If you are new to my channel, I'm Dr. Dion Napier. I'm a voice coach and an entrepreneur, and I help classically trained singers learn how to mix and belt so they can sing, so you guys can sing pop and contemporary style music without sounding like opera singers, okay? That's my mission in the field right now. It's some other stuff coming with that, but for right now, that's where I'm at. So welcome to you guys who are joining me live. So let me just hop on in. I'm going to share some of my thoughts on this article, and then I'm going to get out of y'all's way. So if you're not aware, Classical FM did an article on Billie Eilish, and they are comparing her voice from a classical perspective. Okay, so I mean, off the top, that's kind of problematic. Okay, because let me just go on and get in my notes. Okay, it is okay to analyze. It's good to analyze things, right? When they're in the same category, but the goals and traditions of classical music and pop music styles are different. Okay, the goals and traditions are different. So essentially, for them to, whoever this is, to write this article trying to compare the two is like really comparing apples and oranges. Okay, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we're gonna keep on going. Okay, so in classical music, right, the goal is to showcase the extreme beauty and ability of the human voice. Like, that's the goal, okay? To marvel at the beauty of the voice. That's the primary instrument that we want focus on in classical music, okay? In pop style music, though, it's more about influencing the masses, right? It's more about what type of appeal does this artist carry, right? What type of brand does this artist carry? So again, when we're talking about pop music, it's more about money as far as the industry. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just about somebody's voice. It's about their total package and their appeal. That's why it is commercial music. It is for commerce, to make money. It's not all about the beauty of the voice. Okay. So again, you got to remember that there are different goals between classical and pop styles, and the traditions are different. Okay. The second thing is that the spirit of this writer's words is the familiar elitist spirit among many classical musicians in regards to pop music. Okay, if you're new to my channel, I'm a classically trained singer. I went through the university system as a voice performance major for 11 years. I trained to sing art song in French, German, Italian, of course, English. I did all that. I've been in operas. I performed on professional stages. I did that, okay? But once I got to the end of that road, I realized, like, this is not what really makes my heart the most excited, right? So I pivoted and became a contemporary voice coach. But I know the attitudes and the thought and the bias that that is present in university voice programs, and I think it's music programs, not just voice, but especially in voice programs, where there's this idea that pop music singers and pop music is second rate to classical. And that thought and idea comes from a man named Frank Damrosch and Theodore Presser. If you go look at some of your music books, you see Presser, right? He's the publisher. They had a thought back in the 1900s. Okay, this is a long time ago, but they had this mentality that Western classical music was divine and next to God. And the pop music of that day, which was jazz, it was trash, right? And so that mentality has been passed down from generation to generation of classical singer and classical voice teacher. And when I read this article, I still hear that undertone of that opinion. Whether this person that wrote this article knows it or not, that's that underlying spirit spirit, right? That's that underlying belief. Classical is here, pop is down here, okay? So if you are a classically trained singer or a voice teacher who teaches Western classical, you got to take some time and see how has that bias influenced you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you're trying to teach singers that are crossover, and if you're trying to be a crossover singer, if you're going in with those biases, you're going to hit some blocks. You're definitely going to hit blocks with your students. You're not going to be able to help them progress and accelerate toward the goals that they want. And if you're trying to sing crossover, you definitely going to hit some blocks, because you're going to have in your mind, I can't make these certain sounds. This is going to ruin my voice. This is not that good, all of that. Okay, so what I'm coming on here to communicate today is that there is a bias in universities about pop music. Some of that bias has probably influenced your beliefs and thoughts and how you hear music, and you're going to have to take some time to unravel that if you want to be influential as a voice teacher and if you want to be a crossover voice coach or professional artist. That's what I'm communicating. Okay, welcome to you on Instagram. All right. The third thing, and this is the last thing, you guys let me know if this is making sense on YouTube. You can drop some hearts, or if you have questions, put it in the chat. If you have questions over here on Instagram, put it in the chat, okay? I'm just sharing some reflections. I'm sharing thoughts on this article today. That's all I'm doing. The final thought that I had after reading this article was that the wise thing to do is to stay in your lane or educate yourself before sharing your thoughts on stuff like this, okay? Because it is obvious that the writer of this article is not really aware of pop music styles and how to analyze. They don't know how to analyze it without comparing it to classical. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to have a perspective. I believe everybody can have a perspective. That's fine. But it doesn't really make sense to compare. Like I said, it's like apples and oranges. It doesn't really make sense to compare Billie Eilish's voice from a classical perspective, because the goals are so, and the traditions are so different. Okay. And so it ends up coming off like a huge turnoff. And I believe this really didn't work out well for them, because classical music is already not really influential in the music industry nor in our modern day society. Okay. So anyway, you know, we really need to just humble ourselves and just seek to understand, not to be understood. One of those Stephen Covey leadership lessons, you know. We don't always, classical singers and voice teachers, y'all are who I'm talking to right now. You don't always have to talk and try to share all you know, because really the person that wrote this article, it reveals how much they don't know about pop music styles, you know. So the wise thing would be to get with somebody, partner with them, let the pride come down, get delivered from the biases and the thoughts that classical is here, pop is here, and really partner with a pop coach, partner with somebody that is actively performing CCM and that can understand how the differences, and just seek to learn and be teachable. Okay, that's what I would recommend. All right, so guys, that's it. That's all I had to share today. 8 minutes, not really long today, but I do want to say, if you are a classically trained singer, professional level, or a voice teacher, and you are interested in working with singers who don't want to sing classical, but you lack the tools and you lack the language, I want you to click the link in my description. I have a free ebook download called How to Get a Commercial Sound in Classical Voices. Here you are on Instagram. Here's my latest ebook, and I'm giving it to you for free, because I do not want you working with singers, or you yourself trying to be a crossover singer, and you're going in with this kind of mindset like in this article. I don't want that for you. Okay, so click the link in the description, get your free download. It's going to give you contemporary terms, CCM terms that you can use when you're teaching. It's going to teach you how to get a modern sound in your voice in minutes, so you're not singing pop and contemporary style sounding operatic. That's the worst, okay? And it's also going to help you with some of that mindset, all right? So that is my gift to you today, and that's all I have. You guys who are with me live, if you have any questions, I'm going to get a sip of water. Feel free to drop your questions. You can go read the article yourself if you want to on just Google it. Just type in Billie Eilish. Classical FM is the company or the people who wrote the article. So you can go read that and then develop your own thoughts. But those were my takeaways. Those were my thoughts, and I wanted to share those with you today. So that's it. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions. So replay watchers, thank you for catching the replay. If you all have questions or want to DM me on Instagram, feel free to do that. It's Amplify Vocal Studio on Instagram, or you can always drop your comments in the chat below. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye-bye.